Hey, we're here with Ginger and the Desert Creations. Guess what? I have been commissioned to do a piece. I got just one thing to say about that. Yep! So the instructions were a rectangular piece. Ended up being a 12 by 48, the second largest piece I have ever painted. That's fun. No bright yellow, which my brain kind of thought of all kinds of ways to use yellow. Because I guess I don't live by rules very well. I don't know. And what was the last? Theme. Traveling ring pour. Now, I don't make things that look like things most of the time. I've done a couple of mountains. I've done a couple of flowers. There's even a weed in there. But I don't make things that look like things. So, to fit in with a travel motif, I got to thinking not only do we travel to other destinations and travel through space, we travel through time. And it got me thinking about one of my favorite moments from a movie that I like. It's called Notting Hill. And the character, William, he walks down the street, and as he's walking down the street, the season is passing, and you get this sense of a year having passed as he goes from one end of the street to the other. And I thought about how I could utilize that in this nice long canvas. And so from left to right, it is starting in the morning and ending up in the evening, but it is also starting out in the spring at sunrise and ending up in the winter at sunset. So as you move, it moves along a full season and a full day. So, you want to see how that turns out? Let's go paint! Well, here's a first. I've never taken notes on how I was going to pour something before. We're starting out with the spring sunrise. Now, I was told not to use bright yellow in this piece, and my brain automatically said sunrise because I got sunrise on the brain lately. I decided to go with a soft gold as our sunrise because it's kind of the softest yellowy color I can get. And it's not yellow, it's gold. We are going to use 9-ounce cup because I do not have anything that resembles 6 ounces to be able to pour each zone correctly in terms of ounceage, so we will not be overflowing this cup, hopefully. Creative Inspirations light green, chosen because in spring greens are lighter, aren't they? Maybe. Representing our spring flowers, Arteza Pearl Magenta. In representation of tulips, we are going with a Fluoro Magenta. This is a Montmartre paint that I kind of actually bought for my 100th piece, but I have just been staring at them for a while, and it's like, I want to use those. And guess what? We got some bright flowers coming at you, so yeah. Montmartre Fluoro Red. Oh, so bright. Scary, scary bright. I was told no bright yellow, not no bright red, no bright magenta. I was not told don't use scare me colors. Maybe that should have been unspoken, I don't know. We got some amethyst, folk art amethyst. I do like this color. Ooh, a little bloppy. Small dollop more of the green, just for some leafiness. A little bit more of the pearl magenta. Touch more of the pearl magenta, just a little bit. Liquitex Basics Light Blue Violet. This is one of my current favorite colors. Got our nice sky there. Creative Inspirations Sky Blue. A little bit more sky there. Nice light sky colors. Let's put in our sun and some clouds first, shall we? Okay, just a little bit. Not too much sun. I am forever reminded that I should never get too much sun. Okay, some cloudy clouds. Let's get some cloudy clouds. Titanium white, Montmartre, titanium white. Creative inspiration, cerulean blue, because we are getting darker sky as we go towards night. We'll do another touch of the light blue violet. Another bit of white, because there should be cloudy skies. White puffy cloudy skies, not stormy skies. Ultramarine, that gets really dark really fast. Gonna kind of mixy layer it just a little bit with the lighter stuff a couple of times. And then we are going to go into our capper, which is night. And that night capper is Payne's Gray. This is Arteza Payne's Gray. Two layers, Payne's Gray and Ultramarine Blue. That is, did I mention that's Montmartre Ultramarine? So we are going to have these Payne's Gray be end caps at both sides, because it's going to be a day worth of time passage. So we're going to start with night, go with sunrise, and then we're going to end up with, you know, the rest of the day, and it will end in sunset. And I still have to decide if I'm going to put sparklies at the edges of where night exists, because there should be stars in night, shouldn't there? Maybe. Spring sunrise is poured. Yes, indeed. And we've got it so that, well, I can't show you right now, but we've got it so that it goes from dark sky to lighter sky. Hopefully a little bit of show up of the sun. We've got some green, we got some flowery colors. And I did layer it correctly this time, because when I first start pouring it out, it will be dark, it'll go lighter, and ta-da. So I didn't pour this in correctly this time, and I am a little bit proud of that fact. And one thing I actually did forget for a half a second, I'm using the Oxide Black, which is Amsterdam, because it plays very well with other colors. I am going to pour it down, dirty pour it down through. It should just give a touch of black in the layers, but without overtaking it or making it too overly dark, because I don't want this to be a dark piece. But we're just gonna quickly do a little dirty pour down in. That was just tiny, because I'm still a little scared of overly darkening this. Although, from my test, if you watch Unraveled, it didn't overly darken. It just turned out beautifully. It plays really well. So, there's a little bit of black in there, just to give some low lights. Let's see, we want blues to be towards the top. So we are going with greens. Arteza Pearl Cactus. Right in the bottom there, big old blop. Creative Inspirations, middle green. Big old blop. Now, I decided to do this because Creative Inspirations light green. Because if you look up Summer Morning, you end up with a lot of really green pictures. Let's put in a little bit of pops of stuff for flowers and plants, and that's Folk Art Treasure Gold, Fire Opal, and a little bit of Arteza Magenta Light. I'm not going to put that in quite yet. I'm going to put a little bit more green on top, just so that it kind of balances things out. I am going to put a touch of white into this. Montmartre Titanium White. I'm actually going to dirty pour the white down in, because I kind of just want it to be like a hint of white here and there. Not just, you know, in clouds, but there are a lot of like little tiny white weedy little flowers that exist in nature. I have chosen 3 metallics for each section. There's a little cheat in that because the final section actually has 7, I think. But I'm kind of counting all of the Amsterdam white ones as one because I can. And it will just be our little secret. You want to put a touch of magenta right at the top there? Maybe. Maybe give it a little bit of magenta right before we traipse on into the sky. Sky blue. True blue. I've only got a tiny bit of true blue left. It's a little on the dark side too. I'm gonna use the Montmartre Cobalt Blue first because that's the one I have the least amount of. Light blue violet. Let's get some clouds in our sky, shall we? A little bit of... Do we want any of the other blues on here more better? Let's do some cobalt. Touch of white puffy clouds. And that is our summer morning. Once again, if you do an image search for fall evening, you end up with, well, you end up with stuff that's yellow, unfortunately. But you also end up with a lot of fall colors, sort of fruity things, and a lot of trees. So, we are going to once again start with, I'm going to go with forest green. Forest green. Light green. Did I mention that forest green is deco art? It's a craft paint. Creative Inspirations middle green. Going for the burnt sienna with our little tree motif. Kind of dirty pour it a little bit. Not too much brown. Brown scares me. Let's get some color changey leaves, shall we? Vermilion. Artisloff vermilion. Arteza pearl raspberry. Some fruity flowery colors in there. Amsterdam carmine. I do love Amsterdam carmine as a color. It works so well. Sergeant Art copper. Copper. Just also falling in with our fall leaves kind of thing. Bit more to vermilion. Pour some sterling silver just down. As you might start getting a little bit of inclement weather in fall. So a light little nod to snow, maybe. A little bit more of the forest green. And let's hop into the sky, shall we? Sky blue, cobalt blue. This one's Creative Inspirations. The other one was Montmartre. Didn't have a lot of Montmartre left. Cerulean. White puffy clouds. Let's get it to sink a little bit. With a brave little dollop of oxidey black, dirty poured down through. Watch it sink. There you go. We want to, as we get to the bottom of this cup, we want to be moving into darker and snowier. Our final color will be the Payne's Gray, because that is where the night ends, whatever, I don't know. Ultramarine is a nice and still quite dark and deep drying color. So we'll have a nice dollop of that. I'm gonna do Deco Art Deep Sapphire. Nice bit of sparkle. Because winter needs a sparkle. And I am going to put in titanium white, and then we're gonna go pearl blue. Ooh, messy. Let's see, more titanium white. That is the green, pearl green. More white. More snow. Pearl red. More white. Even more snow. Pearl violet. Pearl white, Amsterdam, pearl white. Kind of just gonna pour our blues a little bit haphazardly into this one so that we get plenty of mixing, because blue is a good theme for winter. Okay, and then we need to top it off with some of that oxide black. Just pour it down and through. A little bit of dark. A little bit of shadow. Did I get everything in there? I don't know. I don't know. That's gonna be too full if we keep going. So let's count that as done. Our white is pretty much finito. Okay, I'm nervous. Fasten your seatbelts, keep your hands and arms inside the ride at all times. Close to the bottom. Get this on the edge, and we are going to ring pour. And let's get this sucker to ring. Ring, damn you. There we go, ringy. And traveling. And this is why I have paint on my floor. Okay, there we go. Woohoo! Okay, not much has changed. Okay, we will let that mellow a bit. Summer is here. Ringing. And traveling. Get close. Over to a very green end. It's darker blue with chrome molten metals, emerald green hanging out on top of it. Here we go for fall. To get it ringing. cells, warming the paint just a little bit so that it encourages movement and activation and whatever you want to call it. I'm going to see if I can preserve some of the lininess. The furthest to go that way. So, yeah, we will start on that side. A bit of this cobalt is a flow extender. Run right down so that if it gets cells, they will be nice blue cells. Just gives us something to push off, something for the color to surf across. The stuff that we want to keep will be more likely to surf across it than to roll over. Because when you roll over, you lose things. I am moving that way. Fortunately, the makers of this canvas have seen fit to give me some runners that I can grab on the bottom of here and then tilt so that I don't have to try to smudge the edges. Some things are moving faster than others. That's unfortunate. Oh, don't lose the edge of the thingy. Okay. Okay, I'm going to tilt it back this way before I lose too much, and I'm going to end up wearing half of summer, but that's okay. Oh, that's cold. Paint is cold. Oh, some amazing lininess going on. Oh, yes. We're getting pretty good coverage along this side. Okay, now let's get it to run to the other end. I'm going to try to let it wander down this way without disrupting too much of what's going on, hopefully. That's not... The fire opal and the copper are sitting in there. Very interesting. I don't know that I want to lose these lines. I'm going to lose the lines. So I can handle the wintry part pretty well. Just do another little ring at the end there and tilt it off. No problem. I probably want to do something with the ultramarine and the Payne's Gray up here at this end. The blue didn't quite show up as well as I wanted for how much blue is actually in this. So that's a little surprising. I think I might just keep nudging it left and right until these lines open up as much as I want to see them open up so that we can see all the colors in there. And we'll see how much I can encourage to wander down to that bottom. Before I decide to pour anything else on it. Let's go the other way. I'll just have a little bit of a heaving bow for a second here, just left and right, left and right. Trying to keep the lines even. So once I see that they start to bow, I'm just going to teeter-totter in the other direction. And hopefully that will end up with me getting fairly straight lines, nice open rings, and a whole lot of pretty craziness that can be mistaken for an entire year on 4 feet of canvas. Teeter-totter back the other way again. I'm going to try to tilt it a little more towards me as I tilt it back, because my side is kind of the one that isn't covered at the bottom. Okay, done a quickie mixer a little here, and we will cover this with far too much paint and then let it run. Okay, let's heft that up. Back. And then back to the center and down. Where the paint is about centered now, and we go that way. Push it off, open it up. Encourage the edge. Gonna roll this into the edge a little bit. Just so that it's the less area to stretch to get it where we want it to be. That edge is not cooperating as much as I would like. We're going to eventually get rid of this wavy. I'm going to leave it the way it is for a second here. But I am going to pour another small little cup at this edge over here. And we will then even out the lines, get that to be all over the edge where it's supposed to be, and yeah, then we will be happy. Maybe right on that edge, just a little ringy pour right on that edge, kind of get the effect going along the whole thing here. A nice dark amount of color. So that we hopefully balance our dark edges. And let's run for that side. Try to even out these lines again a little bit. Let's do it back and forth on this. Well, this thing has become very interesting. Let's start with spring. Spring sunrise. I do love what that extra pour did with the blues up in there. A little dark bit of sky. And as we come down, we have all of this spring tulip colored stripiness. The waviness of the lines is really interesting. I don't know how I feel about this little bit of green, but we're gonna let it do its thing and see how it ends up. And so let's move on down. We've got some more of the blue. We got blue and green mixing in. And you see a little bit of that fire opal that will show up better when she is dry, because then we will see the sparkle that stands out against all those greens. We've got some lovely little lines of blue and an interesting little blue blop right there. I don't know how that came up, but it wants to be there. We got this sort of lava flow worth of fall colors. That's pretty cool. And then we go into a little bit of lighter and a little bit of green, a little bit of dark, and then we move into the dead of winter, and this is going to be the interesting part to see dry, because it's where all of those Amsterdam pearl colors are currently living, and those will dry in a very, very interesting manner, I do believe, and I can't wait to see how it works out. I have decided that I am not going to put sparkles in this, because it might just throw it off, and I don't want to wreck nothing. So let's have a little bit of a wander back up, just to get a extra little flyby view of the whole thing, and then cross your fingers extra tight, because hopefully nothing messes this up. I love this painting. I unfortunately kind of hate this canvas. I very much cannot endorse edge canvases past 3 feet, I think. This canvas did not come broken per se. The joints on it are, I think, made to be able to flex, and flex they did. So it showed up feeling kind of rickety and cheap, and I've tried to shore it up a little bit, but I think I would have had a lot better ordering experience had I bought a full 6-pack. But what the hell am I supposed to do with 4-foot canvases? It's solid enough. I've put a little bit of glue over the joints just to feel like they're not really ready to be flimsy like crazy. But yeah, I wish that would have turned out better. But the painting itself is full of beauteousness, so let's get a look at it. Oh my goodness. I don't honestly know if it will ultimately be displayed this way or the other way. It's a little hard to film no matter what. But this is the way that I originally set it up to be painted and displayed as. But to get a closer look at it, I will flip it and we will look at it that way. Hang on. It's big. 4 freaking feet big. And you can see, I declare, peeking out of the corner there. But let's go a little closer. We're good at the closer. We're going to start at the top and go down. What we got here. Now, I don't necessarily know what's going on with that little swirly. As far as I'm concerned, it's got a bit of a calic. But we're okay with that. This piece kind of did exactly what I asked of it.
It did it a little bit more understated than I would have liked. The gold is almost non-existent, but it's up there, and I think you do kind of buy it as a little bit of a sunrise. So I'm very happy with this spring morning. Here we come, going down, and I'm gonna try to talk as we go and try not to drop everything, and yeah, this is fun. I don't know about this section. This is probably my least favorite 2 inches of the whole piece, but if there only has to be 2 inches, we'll go with it. The blue and the green of our summer morning. Oh my goodness. So lovely mixing. And the fire opal that showed up in here. I mean, I can't even give you the effect, but you pick it up just as a little bit of a fiery flare here and there. It's very, very nice. Very nice. And we come down into these like electric blue little rivulet things, and the copper and the carmine kind of just combined to do this awesome lava flow of fall. And the going down before I start getting ahead of myself again. The raw sienna and sterling silver really played well in here. I love how the raw sienna just kind of goes into those cracks and just accentuates everything. And then put on your gloves, your mittens, and your hats, because we're going into winter. And that Amsterdam paint did the iridescence that I asked of it. You can kind of just, it's just a wispy little hint of color. You got to kind of get into the right light. But there's little bits of violet and green and blue. Of course, there's blue everywhere, but it's a haze of colors. It is such a subtle haze of colors. It's exactly what I asked it to do. I probably wanted it to do it a little bit more boldly, but the way it did it was really good. And then we come down here, and as it's going into the dark of night again, we've got this another bit of this wispy different colors, and I'm not sure if that's the Amsterdam paint or if that's Deep Sapphire playing with the other colors or exactly what that is. I gotta think that that's partially the Amsterdam paint in there, because it's got this bunch of colors that I just don't think would pop up spontaneously with Sapphire and Deep Sapphire. So, there it is. Comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.